Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How was our day? Trust we had a blessed day. Trust we had a great day. Can you hear me? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Trust you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can you see my screen? I guess my screen has not been pulled up yet. That's good. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hope our day was wonderful. Let me give us some few. Let's give others to join some few minutes. They're still around 6:07:06. So today's class is going to be very, very, very interesting. Okay. My volume is low. Let me move closer. How about now? Is it okay? I'm sorry. Yes, oh no, my day was good. My day was good. Thank you. Niyelola. Is my volume okay now? My day was fine. My day was fine. My day was fine. Thank you. Is my volume okay now? So let's give ourselves about 2 more minutes for other people to join. Can you see my slides? Okay, it's up now. Can you see my slides? So 1 more minute and we're going to jump right in. So I just want to say um sorry about that. So I believe you can see my screen. So let's give others 1 more minute. Sorry about the noise at the background. So sorry. So can you see hear any noise? I believe it's clear now. Okay, so I just want to say kudos to everyone that has been able to push through up until now. Seriously, give yourself a pat at the back. It's clear now. Okay, that's good. Give yourself a pat at the back. Trust me, you guys have really tried. This is the third week and we are still standing. We are still standing. That's great. So let's dive deep into it. So are we good to go? Can I get a thumbs up so we can dive into? Okay, that's good. Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get a thumbs up so we can dive into it? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Just three, maybe three, so we can dive deep into it. Okay, one, two, one more. Good. Barakat, that's good. So let's quickly dive into this. Who can remind me of what we spoke on the last time? That was on Monday. Who can remind me? Who can remind us of what we spoke on the last time? Anybody? The service we treated the last time. Was the service we treated the last time? Anybody? Yes, EC2. EC2. That's great. That's great. That's great. EC2. That's great. EC2. So, yeah. Yes, AWS EC2 instance. No, it's not KMS. So, KMS was last week. Temblor KNS was last week. So, today's topic, we're going to talk about one of, uh, 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 how will I put it now? Two core service in AWS, and there's Amazon Autoscaling and Elastic Load Balancer. So from the word autoscaling, to scale, and load balancer to balance load. So are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? I'm so excited. Seriously. Are we ready? So we're going to talking about auto scaling, for short ASG, and for short ELB. So we are not going to be using those abbreviations, but as time goes on, we should get used to it, because trust me, nobody has time to be calling Amazon auto scaling group, or you get it. So let's move. So I believe you can see my screen. So first of all, I want to discuss with us and just give us a deep dive into two core terms that I'd like us to understand. Very, very crucial in the IT world and also in cloud computing and in AWS. That's high availability and scalability. Now, we are going to be focused on the EC2. We're going to focus on EC2, high availability and scalability for EC2. So are we good to go? So there are two types of scaling. It's very simple. Vertical scaling. So vertical scaling means increasing the size of an instance. So sorry, yes, increase the size of an instance. Sorry. So in short, from just to scale up or to scale down. So don't worry, there's a diagram to help us understand this better in the later slide. But just have at the back of your mind that vertical scaling, one of the scaling is to scale up and to scale down. You get it. The second one is horizontal scaling. That's to increase the number of instances. Let's say, for example, you have one instance and you want to increase it to like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just have at the back of your mind that that's what horizontal scaling means. So now for vertical scaling, for example, we want to scale up. So let's say we have, I don't want to really explain, I want the diagram to explain. So this is just like an intro. So this is an E type of an EC2 instance for those of us that still remember on Monday. So this is a 2T nano type of EC2 instance. So with 0.5 gig of RAM and just one V CPU. So don't worry about all this term. As time goes on, we are going to understand. But just know that you can scale vertically from T2 nano to U24TB1 metal type of instance. So this currently is the largest type of instance that AWS has. So the biggest type of instance, and this T2 nano is the smallest type of instance that AWS has. So next we talk about horizontal scaling. Just remember to scale out and to scaling. I will explain that. And the last one with high availability. Now, run instances for the same application across multi-AZ. I believe we all remember what an AZ means. That's availability zone. So you have run instances for the same application across multiple AZs. That's more than one AZ, more than one availability zone. So auto-scaling group, if we enable multi-AZ, you can also enable multi-AZ. You can also enable multi-AZ for load balancer too. So don't worry, in the next slide and the previous one, we'll understand. So let's discuss vertical scaling. So let's take a phone operator, for example, now, a company that has a phone operator. So this is what exactly how vertical scalability means. For example, the company just started and they get a junior operator, and junior operator is actually doing very well. But as things begin to go, you understand, the organization later noticed that they need someone with more experience. So you understand. So they decided to scale vertically to get someone who is a senior operator. So in this case, they went from this level of knowledge of an operator to someone who has much more experience. You understand, to be able to understand and have a great conversation with the customer. So this is just a graphical explanation for what vertical scalability means. So the next one is horizontal scaling, like I discussed. So who can still remember what horizontal scaling means? It means to have multiple. So in this case, to have multiple operators. To have multiple operators. So if you see in the previous slide that I said, it means to scale in and to scale out. Remember, so to increase the number of instances, in this case, to increase the number of the operators. So why will this happen? Let's say I already have some slides that explain this. Today I just wanted to be very, very sweet for us. So I decided to create some images that could help us to quickly assimilate. So the later slides, we are going to see it there. But when you hear of horizontal scaling, just think of scaling in and scaling out to add more, to increase the number. Do we get it? So high availability, in the other hand, let's say, for example, this call center now has, the business has grown. So they decided to have a number of operators in Lagos. Yes, to increase the number of operators in Lagos, in the first building, and in another building in Abuja. You understand? They have some set of number of operators. So why are we going to use high availability? That's HA for short. So just in case one building gets shut down, or for example, it will not happen, the building collapsed, or the dust went off, maybe NEPA take the lights, or the generator just got spoiled. So in order for the business to continue running and customers will still have access to the call center, they just automatically direct them, the application automatically directs them to the second building, which is in Abuja, and the customers continue receiving their um, flow. I believe, please, can you give me a thumbs up if you are hearing me? Can you hear me? Or am I too fast? Or am I too fast? Just give me a thumbs up if I'm good to go. Okay, okay. Because I noticed we are okay. It's like it's sinking. Okay, okay, okay. I like that. Okay, that's good. That's good. So let me continue. So high availability. Think having like two AZs, one in Lagos and another one in. I'm too fast. Oh, sorry. Loud and clear. Okay, don't worry. I'm too fast. No problem. Okay, okay. So I have explained two concepts for us now, two terms for us. That's vertical scaling, that's scalability and high availability. And we said we have two types of scalability, that's vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Then for high availability, just think of having your application, the same application to run across multi-easy. That's more than one easy. Okay, so let's fly. So now what, let's also see another explanation for scalability. So scalability involves beginning with only the resources you need and designing your architecture to automatically respond to changing demand by scaling out or scaling in. I believe by now you understand what I'm saying. So as a result, you pay for only the resources you use. Mind you, for auto scaling and elastic load balancer, we're going to, when we get into the deep into them, you don't pay for auto scaling. You don't pay for elastic load balancer. You only pay for the resources that is being utilized. That's the resources that's being used. So as a result, you pay for only the resources you use. You don't have to worry about a lack of computing capacity to meet your customers' need. You only pay for the resources you use. So if you wanted the scaling process to happen automatically, which AWS service would you use? I believe by now we already know that's the Amazon EC2 auto scaling. To scale, remember, scale, automatically scale. So let's move. Now, let's look at a live scenario now. Let's say, for example, I know every one of us here has an ATM card, and we've had a scenario where um, you went to the ATM stand, or let's first of all take a website. You understand? You try to access a website that wouldn't load and frequently timed up. So the website might have received more requests than it was able to handle. So we can also look at this situation with an ATM stand or an ATM gallery. I believe every one of us must have gotten to an ATM machine before. The ATM stand, they have three ATM machines there, and like two of them is out of service, and one is just working. You know how frustrating that can be. So think of it as the same thing. So what happens in this scenario now is that customers get stranded, as you can see, the long queue because the other ATM machines are not working. Do you understand? Maybe the one that they're even standing at that are trying to access just shuts down. You understand? Just currently got out of service and they are waiting, hoping it will come up very soon. So just have at the back of your mind that is what I'm trying to explain to us. So I want to quickly clear something out. You understand? I want to give us a distinctive difference between auto scaling group and EC2 auto scaling. So some of us might have noticed because I'll be using these terms interchangeably. So auto scaling group and EC2 auto scaling group. From the name, you should have already understand what I'm trying to say, but let's look into it. So when we talk about auto scaling group first, so in a broader term, it refers to a group of compute resources that can automatically scale in, you already know now, or scale out based on demand. So it can apply to various types of resources. In this case, not just EC2 instances. So your autoscaling can be applied to various services, such as containerization, that's container. One of the example of container is Kubernetes, and later on in the course, we are going to see what containers mean and uh, Kubernetes and the rest. So serverless functions and even more depending on the cloud service provider. So autoscaling is autoscaling group is a general term. So think of it as you being able to scale either vertically or horizontally. I hope we understand what I'm trying to say. So moving over to EC2 auto scaling. So now we are trying to scale EC2 instances. I hope we are getting. So an EC2 autoscaling group specifically refers to the AWS service that manages the scaling of Amazon EC2 instances. So this one right here, the one is the one we're going to focus on. I hope you understand. So don't just think that autoscaling group can only be applied to AWS or it's just for AWS. No. Autoscaling group generally means you having a group of EC2 instances that can scale in, sorry, a group of computes that can scale in or scale out. Niyilola wa. Do you have a question? Maybe I can quickly address it. Just tell me what you don't understand so I can address it for you. Let me give her some seconds. If you are good to go, just give me a thumbs up. It's something you don't understand. To explain differences. Okay, that's good. Now, why I decided to bring up this. Now, this a deep dive. You understand? While I was just studying and trying to come up with a slide, understanding the differences. Again, please, no problem. I thought to myself that uh, these terms can be used interchangeably and it can be confusing. Like while we're trying to differentiate or try and understand what an AWS service is and what an AWS resources are. They are both different. So now, in the case of auto scaling group, now not just it does not just apply to AWS specifically. In fact, it is used generally across all cloud service provider, GCP and Azure, Oracle, and the rest. So just pick the word auto scaling. What does auto scaling means? So for something to scale automatically. Now, group, they are in a particular group. You understand? Let's say, for example, as a beast, you have just two computes in a group. You understand? And in an application in a group, let me just put it in a group, and all of a sudden, this or let's use a coffee, or let me see, I'm coming. Let me see if I have a slide. Okay, let me just quickly explain it instead of moving down. So I want to just look at auto scaling, the word auto scaling group, and throw away the EC2. What is auto scaling group? So to automatically scale something that you don't have to do it manually. You understand? So that's what it actually means. So, and these things are in a group. So if the load or customers that are having access to a website or to, let's say you go for, maybe you want to buy food at a particular canteen and you have like three people that are meant to be serving you the food, and the queue gets long. You understand? The three people are already occupied and people are still coming. So what happens is there are other servers stand by to quickly take in the position. So you understand? Think of auto scaling like that. And if automatically, sir, it's really confusing. Sorry. Okay, you know what? Let's calm down for a bit. It's already confusing. Just look at the word auto scaling means to automatically scale, to scale. But the materials is already on the LMS platform. So let's go. Let me draw back a bit. Let me draw back a bit. Oh, let me draw back a bit. Let me draw back a bit. That's why I had to. Let me draw back a bit. Let's start from Let's start from here. Let's start from here. High availability and scalability. Now we're focusing on scalability. There are two types of scalability. There's vertical scalability to increase the size of something. Increase the size. It's getting confused. So horizontal scalability to increase the numbers. Now, there is a reason why I'm explaining this. Now, let's leave high availability because it's mainly focused around elastic load balancer. Now, scalability has to do with auto scaling. So it involves beginning with only the resources you need and designing your architecture to automatically respond to changing demand by scaling out. Now, scaling out means to add more, and scaling in means to reduce. So as a result, you only pay for the resources you don't need to worry about it. Let's leave this. Now, I now want to make it clear, let's leave this alone, that there's a difference between auto scaling group and EC2 auto scaling group. The only difference there here is EC2. We all know what EC2 is now. Is there anybody that doesn't know what EC2 is? I believe if you can understand what EC2 is, you shouldn't have any challenge with this. Is there anybody? Oh, is there okay? That's true. For like, is there anybody that don't understand what EC2 is? I believe everybody understand what EC2 is. So is the auto scaling group is the same thing, but in this case, what are we scaling? We are scaling EC2. Yes, I will come back to this question. Oh, Adepeju. Now you need to go back to Monday's um, teaching, Monday's class that's on the YouTube channel for you to understand. So, and it's not something we can go back to it now. So, do yourself some good. That's Adepeju to go back to Monday's lesson. Wow, many of us are asking what EC2 is. So, just, you missed the class on Monday. That's why. So, it has already been explained. So, let's move forward now. So, what is an auto scaling group? Now, our main focus is on Amazon EC2 auto scaling. So now, right now, let's keep our questions. Jot those questions down and hit me with the questions at the end of the session, please. Please. So let's dive deep. Oh, don't worry. See, as we continue to proceed, trust me, some of you are already going to understand it. So, what's an auto scaling group? So Amazon EC2 auto scaling enables you to automatically add or remove Amazon instances in response to changing application demand. What this means, as the demand on the application, as clients or customers continue to have access to the website, as they continue to grow, what happens is it adds more. You understand? Either the application has been set to multiply, let me put it that way, or been set to increase. So by automatically scaling your instances, by automatically in, scaling, sorry, by automatically scaling your instances in and out as needed, you can maintain a greater sense of application availability. Akin, sorry, I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. Just go on YouTube. You understand? Go to previous lessons and you're going to have access to it. So the two main goals of an auto scaling group, these are the two main goals. It has other function, is to scale out and scale in. So scale out means to add EC2 instances to match an increased load when customers are having access to the website, and the server can no longer take it again. What happens? If it's in an auto scaling group, it will scale out by adding more servers. So if the server was just two before, to scale out to be two, to be three, four, five, like that, to be able to handle the increased load. So if now scaling in to remove EC2 instances to match the desired load. If, for example, oh, yes, so one my colleague is already here. I believe now we understand it. When load is too much, server, so instead of alerting the data. Okay, now. So let's proceed. Thank you very much, Feoluwa. Yes, like I said it earlier, you have to enable it. You enable auto scaling group and you enable elastic load balancer. It has to be enabled. So let's proceed. So within Amazon EC2 auto scaling, you can use two approaches. Now, for this level, you don't need to have a deep understanding of these two types of scaling. Yes, two types of EC2 auto scaling. You don't need to, you just need to know what it is. Now, the first one is dynamic scaling. So it responds to changing demand. The other one is predictive scaling. So to scale automatically, schedules the right number of Amazon instances based on predicted demand. So this predictive scaling uses what they call machine learning. Is, trust me, is a whole lot of lecture on this one, so it's not for this foundational level. But what I just want you to know is that there are two types of EC2 auto scaling. The first one is dynamic scaling, scaling that responds to change in demand. And the other one is predictive scaling, from the word predictive. So automatically schedules the right number of Amazon EC2 instances based on predictive demand. This is just what you need to know about this in this level. So now let's look at another example now. I believe we are still following. So let's look at another example now. That's Amazon EC2 auto scaling. So in the cloud, computing power is a programmatic resource. So you can take a more flexible approach to the use of scaling. So you can do this by adding Amazon auto scaling, is ASG for short, to an application. You can add new EC2 instances to the application when necessary and terminate them when no longer needed. Now, this happens automatically. When we start having our projects, we will see it. It's something you've already set. So you don't need to be doing it manually by yourself. It has already been set. So you understand. And we are going to see it in the later slides as we proceed. So suppose that you are preparing to launch an application on an EC2 instances. When configuring the size of your auto scaling group, you might set the minimum number of Amazon sorry. Yes, Ifeoluwa. One thing I want to tell us is this. Um, we have put together the best way to, that's why we are using diagrams in order for us to understand. And that's why this slides is being shared across to us. So I want us also, in order for us to have a solid understanding and deeper of understanding of this, we can, that's why we have the Telegram, where we can, after going through all these slides, and if we don't understand, drop your questions there and we are going to answer you. No, Terraform. No, we are not going to do Terraform. Terraform is on the associate level. We're not going to be touching Terraform. So we're not going to be touching Terraform. So, like I said, trust me, it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. It's a process. So just do well to fall back on these things. Yes, I've already told Yano, Jesus, this for the that is for, so it's a process. So the Terraform is mostly focused on the developer associate, but we are going to touch it at the solution architect associate level too. But Terraform is not for this session. So don't worry, we are going to come back to the questions. We are going to come back to the slides again. We all are going to understand. We all are going to understand. Don't worry. So let's continue. So suppose that you are preparing to launch an application on on Amazon EC2 instances. When configuring the size of your auto scaling group, you might set the minimum number of Amazon EC2 instances at 1. Now, this is where the configuration happens. You, in the beginning, first doing the work. You, in the beginning, doing the work. So this means this means that at all times there must be at least one Amazon EC2 instance running. Now this way is going to get very interesting. Now, guys, I want to explain this gradually. Trust me, you guys have been doing great, but I believe since you're here up till now, it's something you can understand, and trust me, you're going to do good at it. So let's proceed. Now, as you can see at my right hand side, which is still your right hand side, yes, we are facing your laptop. Yes, so you can see we have a diagram of an auto scaling group. We can see what is inside. These are instances. These are EC2 instances. These are EC2 instances inside an auto scaling group. You see, these are groups of EC2 instances. Can I continue? Let's take it gently. Let's be moving gently. Let's be moving gently. So when you create an auto scaling group, you will first of all, you can set the minimum number of Amazon EC2 instances. Now, the minimum capacity is the number of Amazon EC2 instances that launch immediately after you created the auto scaling group. Yes, thank you so much. Now, don't worry, we are going to get it. We're still going to come back. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. Or maybe if time permits me, or during the mentorship session, I will share some experience. I myself and my colleague. Trust me, the cloud journey has really been an interesting one. But we are here today. Yeah. So let's proceed. So when you first of all launch an auto scaling group, after you've created the auto scaling group, so let's look in this example now. The minimum that you set is 1. So this is the one that will launch immediately after you've created the auto scaling group. You can see 1. Let's move to the next slide. Now, next, you can set the desired capacity. at 2 instances, even though your application needs a minimum of a single instances to run. Now you can say, I want to set the desired capacity to be 2, but the minimum should be 1. It should be 1. Do you understand? So now I want to make something clear now to note. If you don't specify the desired number of Amazon EC2 instances in an auto-scaling group, the desired capacity defaults to your minimum capacity. These questions that are popping up, I guess my colleague will answer us. So let me fly. So that means if you don't set a desire when setting your auto-scaling, when configuring your auto-scaling group, it will still fall back to 1. That's something you need to take note. Now, let's move forward. The third configuration that you can set in an auto-scaling group is the maximum capacity. Now, for example, you might configure your auto-scaling group to scale out in response to increased demand. In response to increased demand, but only to a maximum of 4 Amazon EC2 instances, as you can see here. So why are we going to have a maximum Amazon EC2 instances as our at least IS4 in this case? Like we made mention of, we make use of an what's there again? An ATM machine, or in this case, let's look at it. Should work. There's no flight today. Oh no, don't worry. There's no flight today. Don't worry. That's why I had to pull up these graphical images for us to understand. Don't worry. Today there's no flying. There's no flying. You can change the desired capacity. It's you in the beginning. Like in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? In the beginning, God, so that's not where we are going right now. But in the beginning, you be the one to set it. You know about your application now. And these EC2 instances, in this case, our application has been hosted on these EC2 instances. Now, let's use Jumia for example. Yes, let's use Jumia for example. On a normal Jumia day, like just a normal day, let's say, just very few customers are hitting Jumia, and most people are waiting for Black Friday. So let's say the maximum Amazon EC2 instances is to handle the Black Friday. Let's just say, because trust me, this is how all these e-commerce websites do set the applications behind the hood. That's the developers that we don't know about. So for a normal day now, let's say the Jumia now, they are having the Jumia application is only running on the desired number of EC2 instances, and that's 2 that they've set already. Now, the application is working fine, you understand? So they, being wise, they've already set a maximum Amazon EC2 instances in case people that are having access to their website increase, because it's not always going to just be maybe 5,000 people that have been having access to the Jumia website. So let's just say on Black Friday, for example, now, being Black Friday, we all know what happens on Black Friday, where the price is being slashed. And trust me, some people are right now. I'm not trying to say, I'm not calling anybody's name. I don't even know anybody here. So we know Black Friday, most people have already start saving their money, and on Black Friday, I'm going to buy this shoe. I've been eyeing this shoe. I know this shoe is 10,000 naira now. On Black Friday, it can be 3,000 naira. And you're just waiting. Black Friday comes. Pow! Everybody, you will notice the number of people that will be having access to that website is going to increase. Yes, and trust me, these 2 desired EC2 instances can't handle it. So As people hit the website, the number of people increase hit the website, they have, because you already have the maximum Amazon S3 instances set to 4. These two are going to come up immediately in order to handle the application, in order to handle the increased demand. Now, if you still want me to explain auto scaling group, tell me to go back. I want to, because elastic load balancer is not um I'm not going to really go dive deep into elastic load balancer. So if you don't understand it, let me jump back. Let me jump back a bit. Just tell me. I'm a little confused about the difference between desired capacity and minimum capacity. Okay, I understand now. That's good. Niniola. Who else again? I've gotten one. You're understanding it. Trust me, this is a process, little by little. As you continue to, meditate on it, trust me, you're going to understand. Just remember, me too. Okay, I just need any other question about auto scaling. It is well explained, sir. I understand, sir. I'm still going to go back to your question, Ali. Peace. Don't worry. I believe all of us too are going to use that opportunity to understand well. It's a bit clearer now. Oh, that's good. That's good. Any other person? Any other person? Okay, that's good. That's good. Saying true now. There's someone that is not here. Oh, I've forgotten her name. Oh, is it Anu Oluwa? Yes. Is it Anu Oluwa? Okay. There are a lot of us, but I can still remember some of us. Well explained, sir. So let me just quickly jump back. Let me jump back. Let me jump back. Let me jump back. So we're talking about the desired. Now, when setting your auto scaling group, we're dealing with EC2 instance, EC2 auto scaling group. You are going to set the minimum. You can set the minimum to 2. You can set the minimum to 3. You can set it to 4. You can set it to 20 GAN, even more than that. When you launch the EC2, when you launch the auto scaling group, the minimum that you've set will be the one run first. That is going to be the one is going to run first. Now, in the other section, when configuring, you will see an option to set also the desired. That means this is what you want to be running at every time. Why is it set like this now? So let's say, for example, your application is just receiving 2 instances are working, and at all of a sudden, customers start, your clients that are having access to your website start reducing. You don't expect the 2 EC2 instances to still be running, because trust me, since this EC2 instances is no longer needed at the moment, because um, the clients are no longer having access to it and it's just there, it will fall back to your minimum. That's 1. So it's good to always set the minimum, set the desired, and the maximum capacity. Person that said I should explain, Ali Peace. Ali Peace, do you understand now? Don't worry, I'm going to pull up an architectural design that I did to help us understand better. And trust me, everything is going to be sent to our LMS platform. So if you've not registered, if you've not logged in or registered for your LMS, please, please, and please. Just going to do that so you have access to all the materials myself and my colleague has created. You understand? So let's fly. Can I fly, please? If you want me to fly, tell me. Just say fly. I just need to three. If you want me to, if you like me to fly now, just let me fly. Thank you. Can I get it two more? Fly, fly like an eagle. Sure. So let's fly. So now, elastic load balancer for balancing. Sorry, for short, ELB. For short, ELB. I'm saying ELB now because I want to pronounce it in elastic load balancer every time. I don't have that strength, I have to save my jaw. I would be pronouncing elastic load balancing. But what I'm trying to say is this. What I'll be saying is ELB, meaning elastic load balancing. Now, elastic load balancing is the AWS services that automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple resources. In this case, EC2 instances. When I hear of elastic load balancing, who can guess what always comes to my mind? Let me shock some people now. There's nobody that cannot tell me that they've not seen an octopus before. You know, an octopus has many hands. Many, I don't know what they call it. It has many of those, even though there are some. And those of you that don't know octopus, you must have even seen it. Those Chinese people that always eat octopus. You know now. Is there anybody that don't know octopus here? Yes, it has many hands. So anytime I think of elastic load balancer or elastic load balancing, the first thing that always comes to mind is octopus because it has many hands. The slide is not clear. Tentacles. Oh, that's true. Yes. Some people sabi book here. For Isola, yes. Tentacles. Exactly. Yeah, that's correct. So it has many tentacles. So those of us that watch Spider-Man, I like cartoon very well. Yes, those of us that watch Spider-Man. Yeah, yes. Thank you very well. Tentacles. So how many of us have watched Spider-Man now? Because don't tell me that I'm still a baby. Many of us used to watch cartoon. Many of us used to watch. I still used to watch cartoon. Yes, I watched Spider-Man. I used to watch Superman. Remember when Spider-Man was having? Remember Doctor Octopus? How many of us remember Doctor Octopus? Hmm? Yes. Now, my people are here. I think that is coming right up. Like we are talking about Spider-Man now and Doctor Octopus. Miracle, you don't know Spider-Man? See, let's not even go there. Let's not go there. But now, when I hear of elastic load balancing, the first thing that comes to mind is octopus. So think of elastic load balancing like that. It distributes traffic because it has so many hands. Even if these two instances are about 20 or 100, it shares the traffic, it distributes it. So think of elastic load balancer like this, or elastic load balancer like before. So for those of you that used to watch cartoon, I don't know, but we're not talking about cartoon now. Let's continue. Think of elastic load balancer like this. Now, you have lots and lots of applications. Now, you understand? EC2 instances, and about 20 of them, and the client. No, let's use a bank. Let's use a bank. Yes. Let's use a bank. Let's use a bank. Is it coffee shop? Let's use a bank first. I'll use a bank, then at the next slide, we're going to explain coffee shop. Sorry, are we going to, Mr. Josiah, are we going to do have our attendance now? It's already 8. Yes, I'm a cartoon lover. Yes, Lola. Yes. Yeah, if you are not watching, you need to watch action cartoon now. None of those baby cartoon. No. So let's mark our attendance. I don't know if the attendance are going is going to be sent across to us, so we can mark our attendance because trust me, the attendance is very, 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 very crucial. Before we proceed with octopus, sorry, before we proceed with elastic load balancing. So Mr. Josiah, Mr. Edziri, is the attendance going to be dropped on the platform? Watch Barbie cartoon. Yeah, I don't used to watch Barbie cartoon. You watch Barbie cartoon, okay? Yes, it is. So should we wait? Okay, let's take a break now. Let's take a break now. The attendance should come up now in 3, 2, and 1. So the attendance is going to come up now in some few. The attendance is going to come up very, very soon. Yes, they haven't given out the attendance link. Okay, still working on. Should I proceed? Okay, let me continue. Let me continue. So now let's continue. While we wait for them to drop the attendance link, let's proceed. Let's proceed. Okay, thank you, Mr. Josiah. So let's continue. Elastic load balancing. So, like I was saying, let's say for example, those of us that have been to the bank, every one of us have been to the bank before. Sorry. And you'll notice there are cashiers. You understand? There are about 2, 3, or 4 of them, and there's a security guy there. You understand? I know some of us are always in a hurry. We just want to withdraw. That's before they even brought out ATM. Those of us that are very, 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 very old and not too old. You know what used to happen before. When you want to withdraw ordinary 3,000 naira, you go and stand on the queue. You now be waiting. I know the cashier does not increase more than highest 5. So, and people at that moment when you're on the queue, trying to collect your money, you understand, with your withdrawal slip. At that moment, your brain cannot quickly calculate that this line, the number of people on this line is short. So you understand, the number of people on this line is more and the rest of them. So we have the security guard there that can tell you, you can come to this line, especially if you're at the back. And some people will say, no, now here I want deal. I don't want to know anything. Now here I want deal. I don't do here since. But Mr. Idri, I guess you are meant to send it to the YouTube channel. Oh, good. So the security guard there is the one that's going to tell you, why not move to this side? So you can quickly have access to the cashier. Why? Because the queue you are on is way more than the other queue. So think of the security guard as the elastic load balancer. So he helps you direct the traffic, helps you balance the queue. So let's mark our attendance and let me give us like 2 minutes. How many minutes, Mr. Josiah, should I give them? Mr. Adrian, how many minutes? How many minutes? 5 minutes. So let's mark our attendance. So we are back from the break. So I know some of us have gotten ourselves coffee, cup of coffee, hot coffee, understand? And some of us drank tea just to help us proceed. But I believe we are all set. Can I fly? Am I good to go? Can I get a thumbs up or can I get a fly so I can proceed? Oh, thank you. One fly. No, I want a fly. I want a fly, not yes sir. No, 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 no. I don't understand. Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Fly. Okay, okay, yes, sir. Fly. Yes. Oh, yes. So, can I get now? So, before the break, I believe we've all take off, take off, take off. Okay, take off. So, I believe by now we've all marked our attendance. So, now, when we're talking about EC2 auto scaling group, and we said is a group of EC2 instances that we place in a group. And two can make a group, three can make a group, the rest of them, but they are placed inside a group. And let's say we have about five of them. Have you ever thought of it? If we have all this in a group and people are just coming, you understand? Clients are just trying to have access to the server or the application. Who distributes this traffic? How do we balance the traffic? You understand? How do we balance the number of clients to the applications? Have you ever thought of it? Because if trust me, if there's nobody there to actually help balance this traffic, everybody can just be having access to just the application. Now think of the um um hmm, this scenario I want to use, this analogy I want to use. I'm not saying there are people on the ATM at the bank are blind, but let's just think of this because literally, does everybody know what's going on in the application of Jumia? Does anybody, to be sincere, can anybody see what is going on in the Jumia application? Who knows what's going on the back end? Or who can tell me the code? I'm on. Oh, can you hear me? I believe you can hear me. Oh, Deborah, I can't see. You can't see me. What's going on? Can you hear me? Onua, what's the problem? I see no, sir. Oh, so you believe all what I've been saying since you couldn't hear me? Oh, I was shocked. It's loud and clear. Okay, Onua, what's the problem? Okay, I believe maybe it's a wrong. You can hear you, but can't see your face. You can't see my face like this. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, Onua. Sorry, sorry. Yes, yes, that's what I'm trying to get. So nobody, you just see your shoe, send a nice bag on the website on the interface, and you just click on it. You don't even know how the bag got there. You don't know how. So I want to use an analogy, and let's say, for example, and it's not so. Just as we can't see the bank, sorry, just as we can't see what is going on at the back end of the Jumia application. You understand? We don't know how many servers are running. Just imagine, just think now. Imagine if every customer that comes to the cashier points can't see. Just imagine. And it's only the security guy that can see. Just imagine for 1 second. Just imagine. And we have 5 cashiers there that are ready to accept us. Just imagine. You will see the power of a load balancer. And if you can just follow me and just imagine that scenario. How many of you are getting it? Can you imagine? Just imagine everybody coming into the bank. You understand? And about 30 or 50 of them can't really see. You understand? Now, you want to know which queue you are meant to enter. You won't even know. Let's say queue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Q5 is vacant. Q4 is vacant. Q3 has some few people there. You understand? And instead of them spreading, instead of these 50 people to be spread, you understand, across or to each queue in order to have access to the cashier, they don't know because they can't see. So the work of the security guard now, in this case, the guy is a load balancer now. Let's take security guard as a load balancer. What he will do is going to place you in the place that will quickly give you access to the cashier. So you understand, it's going to help you balance. You can say for the first queue, 5 can be here, the second queue, 5, or let's say 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So what he has done, he has balanced it. You get it? The same thing with the load balancer. Just think that Jumia has several applications, you understand, that is helping to receive this clients receive the request. And the 5 of them, people are just hitting one particular server, and whereas the other servers are there idle, that server is going to crash. So what the Elastic Load Balancer does is that it helps you distribute this traffic. It distributes the traffic evenly. You understand? But remember this, you have to enable an Elastic Load Balancer, and you have to enable an auto-scaling group. How many of us are following? So that's the work of an ELB. Do you understand? How many of you are able to follow me and imagine? How many of you get it now? So a load balancer acts as a single point of contact for all incoming web traffic to your auto-scaling group. Now, I believe by now you should understand now. So the auto-scaling group and the load balancer, they kind of work hand in hand. You understand? They work hand in hand. So, thank you. Thank you. So they work hand in hand. The auto-scaling group, the ASG for short. You see, I'm already trying to. So ASG and ELB. ALG, ASG, and ELB. So it works together. They work together. You understand? If you must launch an auto-scaling group, you must be ready to enable an Elastic Load Balancer, because the auto-scaling group is going to be a target for the load balancer. Let's stop there. I don't want to go further. So, and a load balancer acts as a single point of contact for all incoming traffic to your Elastic Load, to your ASG. So this means that as you add or remove EC2 instances in response to the amount of incoming traffic, this request routes to the load balancer first. Then the request spreads across multiple resources that will handle them. For example, if you have multiple Amazon EC2 instances, I've already explained this, I believe we understand it, but let me just go through this again. Multiple EC2 instances, Elastic Load Balancing that's what it does. That's what this guy does. It just balances the load. It distributes. It distributes the workload across the multiple instances so that no single instance has to carry the bulk of it. I believe we all understand that. So although Elastic Load Balancing and auto scaling are separate services, I believe by now we've already understood. Yes, ELB. So no more Elastic Load Balancing again. Just give me ELB and ASG. So when I say ASG, When I say ELP, as cloud engineers, I believe you already understand the term. So I believe we can proceed now. So they work together to help ensure that applications running in EC2 can provide high performance and availability. Let's fly. So now I want to just let us also imagine, let's see a graphical presentation. So let's see this where the low demand period. So here's an example of how elastic load balancing works. Suppose that a few customers have come to the coffee shop, we're using a coffee shop for an example now, and are ready to place their orders. So now once you see this image, you see, when I was saying octopus, you see the hands, you can see the hand, you see it now. Look at the image. I don't know if you can zoom. Can you zoom it? You can just zoom it with either, you cannot zoom, you can actually zoom by going closer. You can see the elastic load balancer. So balancing. So once you just see this guy, just know that this is elastic load balancer. That's the icon. And you can see the auto scaling group. You can see the EC2 instances. So you see what happens. These two guys up here are the clients that I want to have access to these EC2 instances. So you see, okay, let me use this. Now, there's a DNS. No, don't let me go. Let's don't use the technical term. I don't want to use technical term at all. These two users want to have access to these two instances. So they come through the Elastic Load Balancer. Then the Elastic Load Balancer will direct their request and it will share it evenly to these two instances. Now, just imagine this Elastic Load Balancer. This guy is not there. What will happen? You understand? Who can tell me what is going to happen? They can either, the traffic can be focused just on this EC2 instance alone, and this guy is just going to be there. This other instance is just going to be there idle. You understand? It's not going to be working. But the elastic load balancer, what it does, it helps us to spread the traffic evenly. So this is a low demand period, and let's go back to this training. If only a few registers are open, this matches the demand of customers who need service. So the coffee shop is less likely to have open registers with no customers. In this example, you can think of the registers as EC2 instances. I believe by now we already understand. So now let's see the high demand period, like when I was talking about Black Friday, how both of them work. That's the ELB and ASD. Yeah, helps spread the traffic, distribute the traffic evenly. So there's some other features of elastic load balancer. For this level, this what we are going to do. It also has something called it also checks the health of the institute, but let's don't go there now. So throughout the as the number of customers increases, the coffee shop opens more registers to accommodate them. Now, additionally, the coffee shop employee directs customers. Remember when I was telling us about the bank, the the security guard, and let's just say the all the guys on the queue are at the bank that come to the cashier, they can see. Let's just leave like that. So to the most appropriate register so that the number of requests can evenly distribute across the open registers. So you can think of this coffee shop employee as a load balancer. So you see, for every, even the bank and every organization, you know, in the morning first, the customers are always going to be like two. They're not going to be much. You understand? But as the day continue to go, maybe around 10, 11, people that will be having access to the application or to the bank are going to increase. So you understand? So I don't want to spend much time here. I believe we all understand this. Uh, yeah, yes, solution. So hit me with your questions now. So don't go and call any security guard you see at the bank when you get to bank, calling him an ELB. You understand? I hope we get what I'm saying. Yes, don't call the security guard at the bank ELB. It's a security guard and he's doing his job. So attendance has been sent. Okay, or Kiki. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrongly. Just scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. The attendance link is somewhere hanging up there. So, guys, hit me with your questions. Questions. If there are no questions, tell me to fly. What if the auto scaling becomes overwhelmed? The auto scaling is a service that can never be overwhelmed. It is managed by AWS. ELB and auto scaling are managed by AWS. We only enable them, we configure them. So it is your EC2 instances that's as the traffic increases. You understand? I'm asking, let me quickly answer Ediri. I'm sorry if I didn't get that name well. So it's your EC2 instances that you've configured in the auto scaling group that can be overwhelmed. That's if the traffic they are receiving is more than they could carry. But the auto scaling on the other hand and ELB, they are managed by AWS. And I've not heard an auto scaling group to be overwhelmed before. So Mr. Idol, please can you just help OKK place the register link again? So Onoa, okay, question, sir. You said you can set the minimum to even 20 desired to, but the maximum has to be 4. No, how can the minimum be more than that? That's it. How can the minimum be more than the maximum? It's not possible. I'm just saying, for example, now your application, Onoa, the minimum cannot be more than the maximum. In fact, when you're configuring it in the console, you're going to see there that if you try to set it that way, it's not going to work. So what I was trying to say is, let's say even though you set your minimum instances to be 20, then you have to set your desire to be more than your minimum, because if you don't set your desired capacity, by default, the desired capacity is going to be that same 20. But if you are going to set your maximum capacity, it has to be more than 20. Onoha, do you understand now? Maybe I said something, but there's the minimum capacity, there's the desired capacity, and there's the maximum capacity. Do you understand? I was just trying to explain. Okay, gotcha. Any other question? If you want me to fly, tell me to fly. I want to pull up the architectural diagram so we can just see. Can I fly? Should I proceed before? We just have 2 questions. Let me quickly hide the answer. Some people must have seen the answer. Oh, Jesus. How many of you saw the answer? Say the truth, though. How many of you saw when I changed my screen? How many of you saw? Nobody should reverse it to go and check the answer. Nobody should reverse. Nobody should reverse. Let's be honest. No, we are good. We are good children. Nobody should reverse. Nobody should reverse. Nobody should reverse. So now let me quickly go and pull up the architectural diagram for us to see. Okay, it's good. Like nobody saw it. Let's leave like that. Let's continue following this lesson. So let me quickly pull up the architectural diagram so we can see it. And let me just explain. Let me share my screen. Let me see. I'm coming. Give me a minute. Coming. I'm coming. Oh, you saw it. Lilian, don't go back home. Oh, why is this thing not showing now? I'm trying to pull up the architectural diagram so we can see it. I don't want to share my entire screen. Show me introduction to us. No, I don't share my entire screen. I'm coming. Just 1 minute. Nobody should just reverse back. Nobody should. Let's be honest. We are good ladies. It was a mistake. So let me quickly pull up. Oh, I did give you clue. Wow, I made a mistake. That was my bad. Don't know why. Yes, so guys, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, say yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Josiah. Thank you. Trust me. Behind the hood, there are some guys that are really, really doing the hard work. Thank you so much, Mr. Josiah. So, yes. So now let me zoom a little bit. Now, as you can see, let's forget about the client. But I believe we can all identify the load balancer and the auto scaling group. Now, if you see, this is the auto scaling group. See, that kind of yellow line. You can see them. You can see the load balancer. You understand? You see how the traffic comes from the internet gateway, which will later be discussed, is service in AWS. You see the clients that are here. So something like this was actually happening behind the hood that we don't know. So this, I'm about to, so yes, we are, okay, yes. So, but how many of you can see my slide? I'm sharing two screens, but can you see my slides? Can you see the architecture there? Yes, yes. So let me quickly go further. So can you see the architectural diagram? Now, just tell me I can see. Okay, yes, yes. Oh, that's good. So as you can see, the elastic load balancer, you saw the you can see the client on the left hand side. You understand? The traffic flows through the internet gateway. Yes, so we can see the elastic load balancer is distributing the traffic to the EC2 instances in the auto scaling group. Can you see that? You see the same thing goes now. This is an internet facing load balancer, which is distributing the traffic to the EC2 instances. You see? And this is an internal load balancer because it's within the application. So you see, it's distributing the same traffic down to the EC2 instances. I believe you can see this. So behind the hood, this is what is actually going on. So you see the work of the load balancer, and you can see the work of the EC2 auto scaling group. That's the ASG. So I believe we are good. The load balancer is Rabio is doing what? Is distributing the traffic. No, 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 no. The diagram won't move. You can see diagram moving. I'm just focusing on the yes. So I wanted us to just see how this actually works. Yes, no turning back. Okay. So I believe I can shut down my screens and let's go back to answering the question. Now, let me stop my screen. Thank you, Mr. Josiah. Please kindly let me pull up my slide now. Thank you. Thank you. So now, let's answer the um, questions. Pink one. Which pink one? Pink one. Oh, the one in database layer. That's the database. That's Amazon Aurora. Don't worry. When we get to the database, when we are treating database service, we'll talk about Amazon Aurora. It's a kind of database. Yes, you see the load balancer is the purple one. Yes, the Big Debbie, that's a database server. Amazon Aurora is a type of database in AWS. So now the questions. Guys, are you ready? You have 1 minute. Once I pull up the question like this, start sending your answers. And please, 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 let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. So are you ready? If you are ready, tell me fly. If you want me to fly to the next slide, can I get a fly? Can I get a fly? Fly one. Next three always on one. So okay. So fly, thank you. I need one more fly. Fly. Please, can you put the diagram again? Because of time, you know what's going to happen? The slide, the diagram is going to be sent to us for those of us that have registered, um, those of us that are in the part of the LMS. Yes. So you can have it and go through it and look at it. So are we ready now? Let me quickly send the question. Let me move to the next slide. And wow, please, Mr. Josiah, help me remove me away from the road. Kindly help me remove me away from the road. Thank you. Which process is an example of elastic load balancing? A. Ensuring that no single Amazon EC2 instance has to carry the full workload on its own. B. Removing unneeded Amazon EC2 instances when demand is low. Read the question again. No, I might be too fast. C. Adding a second Amazon EC2 instance during an online store popular scale. D. Automatically adjusting the number of Amazon EC2 instances to meet demand. Your time starts now. Somebody's already saying the answer. No, I mean somebody's already saying A. Some people have gone back. Oh, that time I made a mistake and pull up the, but I trust you guys and then you won't go back. This one everybody's saying A. So read the questions very well. We're talking about load balancer. No, not fly now. Pamela, not fly. A. D, read D. Those of us that are saying D, those of us that are saying A too. I want to give us 1 more minute. Zoom the question very well. If you have to go closer to your laptop, you have to go closer to your phone and read it. Read it very well. Grammar at times can be confusing. Yes, Pamela, fly isn't in the options. So it's just A, B, C, D. So please think very well. Think very well. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? So which process is an example of ELB? Ensuring that no single EC2 instance has to carry the full workload on its own. B. Removing unneeded Amazon EC2 instances when demand is low. Does elastic load balancer remove? I don't know. Adding a second Amazon EC2 instance storing an online stores. Popular scale automatically adjusting the number of Amazon EC2 instances to meet the demand. So let's see the answer. Some people are saying C, some people are saying A, some people are saying D. So everybody do not pick B. So let's see. The correct answer is A. So if you say A, give yourself a pat on the back. And if you say B, you are very close. If you say C, you are close. And if you say D, that's close also. So ensuring that no single EC2 instance has to carry the full workload. Now, I remember I told us the work of an elastic load balancer. So it helps to distribute the traffic. You guys tried. It helps. So it ensures that no single EC2 instances has to carry the full workload. Let me quickly, for those of us that were saying D, it automatically distributes the load evenly. So that's good for those of you that say A. Now let's see the next question. Now, trust me. Yay. What's going on? Okay. Where's my laptop? Pressing itself. I thought I thought I went to the other answer. So let's see. Now, the other question. What is the primary purpose of an auto-scaling group? Now, let's see. What is the primary purpose of an auto-scaling? What's the primary purpose? To automatically adjust the number of EC2 instances based on demand. The primary purpose, this question can be tricky. Sit down and think. In fact, I can give you 3 minutes for this. To increase the size of individual EC2 instances. Some people know Bootcamp. To monitor the health of EC2 instances only. Or we are doing because of the first question was A. We are now saying this one is A. Okay. To create backups for EC2 instances. Are you sure it's A? So let me see. Send in your answers now. Everybody's saying A. I'm sure some of you didn't go back to and go and do what I say we should not do. Robert Messi say I'm sure it's A. That's a good one. Q. Is there a Q option? Titilayo. So let's see the answer. Some people know book. Some people know Abiist. Let's see the answer. But let me give us about 1 minute. Let's look at it. The primary purpose of an EC2 auto-scaling group. Let's see the answer. To automatically adjust the number of EC2 instances based on demand. So if you say A, trust me, you are too good. So give yourself a pat on the back. Now, to increase the size of individual instances, when we're talking about vertical scaling, we spoke about increasing the size. The primary purpose of an auto-scaling group is to automatically adjust the number of Amazon instances based on demand. So you guys did well. So thank you for your time and participation. Looking forward to seeing you. Yes, ASG, and ELB are the words we are going to be using. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are good. You guys are too good. Trust me, you are really doing amazingly well. So, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting the answer. Thank you for staying here. Question before we call it a day? Yeah, good, nice. Don't call any security guards, ELB or Octopus, please, please. Okay, let's call it a day. Mr. Josiah, we are through. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. Bye.